Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to go over diversified mining companies, maybe some fertilizer companies, take a look at the technical analysis charts, and I'll give you my financial opinion. So let's dive in, go right into it, and I'll let the charts do the talking. This is Vale, V-A-L-E. We came off this bottom here. We broke the downtrend. It reversed. We went into a new uptrend here, and we've been moving on up. On a weekly candlestick basis, we've been up the majority of these weeks, and we continue to move higher. So Vale is looking absolutely excellent from a long-term perspective. And I would have been a buyer down here, and that's what I said on the channel is buy it and hold on. COPX, this one is breaking its pattern to the upside. We're doing a little bit of a retest. This is on a weekly candlestick basis. This looks good to move on higher. So COPX would be one I would be looking at this moment right now for potential opportunity to buy. Rio, another diversified mining company. We had a little bit of a shoulder head shoulder. We pulled on back. We broke out of this downward channel right at this support line. It held. This was a retest. So if you look at it from a big long-term perspective, we've broken out of this channel. We did a retest, and now we're moving on higher, and it still looks really good. I would just be holding on to it. So that's Rio Tinto. BHP, very similar to the rest of the diversified mining companies. We broke out of this long-term pattern. We came back to do a retest. We did a retest. I said, hey, look, I'd be a buyer down here, and we've pulled back on up. And it looks like it may continue to the upside. It looks really good. Glencore, another diversified mining company, one that I think looks very good. If I were to just take a big picture view, we've broken out of the downtrend line. We've broken out, and we're starting to move on up to the upside. Let me do the weekly. This is a weekly candlestick basis. This looks really good to continue higher. I think this is going to be a very good long-term play. So that was Glencore, GLNCY. Norilsk Nickel's been struggling a little bit. We had this is a continuation pattern to move to the upside, but we had some selling pressure. It is a Russian company. We have broken this large pattern to the upside, and we've kind of been in these consolidation patterns recently. We've got Tech Resources, another one that I think that looks absolutely fantastic for potential investment. I did the downtrend line here. We've broken to the upside, and it's breaking out. Tech Resources looks absolutely fantastic. I would have been a buyer on this break. Had a little bit of a consolidation pattern, breaking to the upside, and I think that will probably continue sideways to higher. That type of momentum will be sideways to higher. Freeport McMoran, we're looking at this guy here. We had a big, large pattern here, consolidation pattern, broke to the upside. We were going to run. We had a little bit of a sell-off here recently, kind of a pullback. But again, this looks really good right where it's at. I would be looking for potential investment here. We've got lots of support looking to the left all through this area in here. Lots of support coming through here. So we also have the big buying pressure, small selling pressure. It's probably going to resolve itself going upward. So that's Freeport McMoran. FCX is the ticker symbol. From a dividend perspective, let me see what the dividend is on here. They don't have a dividend here. They got to. No, I thought they don't have a dividend there, but I'm sure they pay a decent dividend. Southern Copper is in a really good location right now for a potential purchase. It's sitting on top of a massive pattern. This pattern started in 2007. It consolidated for a while, and now we're breaking to the upside. We have a little bit of a retest, and this thing's going to probably move to the upside here at any second. I think this looks absolutely fantastic for a great entry point for Southern Copper, if you like. Southern Copper, I'm going to move this up and see. The dividend yield is 5.7%. This is a company I own in my diversified mining companies, and I think it looks absolutely great here. This is Alphaman, AFMJF. I like taking the big picture view. We've had a breakout, and it's had a pretty good run. So I don't know if I'd be a buyer at this second, but I do own it. It's not in copious amounts, but I do own it, and I've been riding it higher. I've just been holding on. Self 32 is another diversified mining company. We've been in this uptrend for a while. We'll see if we break this little resistance line that we got in here, and it looks like it's going to try to take a run at it. It's right. Let's go to the dailies on this. Yeah, it's trying to break through this. We're getting a little bit of selling pressure up there, and eventually we'll break and probably see a big move to the upside. Eventually. It's got a dividend yield of 1.5%, and that's SOUHY. Anglo-American Platinum. Big picture view, we are continuing to move on higher. This has had a pretty good run. I do think it may continue higher as well. This is a monster pattern that we've broken. This would have been a great time to buy it in 2017 on this break. That's a perfect time, and just hold on to it. Impala Platinum's got a similar, gosh, can't even say it. A similar pattern to Anglo-American Platinum. It broke. It would have been great to get in it in 2019 on that break and just hold on. It is quite high, so I don't know if I'd be buying it up here, but it does look like it's going to continue to the upside. And then Nova Royalty is one that I own. It's right where I would be buying it. I continue to buy it down at these lows here and where it's at now. I'm cost averaging in. This is a copper nickel royalty company that is right in a good buy area. So I've been buying that as well. I think copper and nickel are going to do crazy things going forward. So I'm taking the way I'm playing it is through some of the big diversified mining companies, the copper plays, something like a Glencore, like GLNCY. This would be a good copper play, and Freeport McMoran and Tech Resources. Those are the ones that I am using to play the copper game. And then kind of scrolling down, looking at some fertilizer companies. I do think fertilizer companies are going to do incredible things. This is the VanEck Agribusiness ETF. It's called MOO, M-O-O. Big long-term perspective. It's broken out of this pattern here to the upside, and it's just consolidating. I do think that the agricultural business, I think food prices are going to go far higher. And I think yields are going to drop, and I think fertilizer prices are going to go far higher as well. And they have gone higher, and they will continue to go higher. So we're seeing this one go on up. That's MOO. It's looking quite good on the dailies. It's just been chopping sideways recently. IPI, Intrepid Potash, is one that I really like. I think it's at a good location right now for a potential buy point in this area here. We have a long-term downtrend breakout. It just broke out. We're kind of going sideways. I've been an accumulator on this breakout here. I bought it way back in the day down here, a very small amount. I wish I had bought in a lot more. I knew fertilizers would do well. I just didn't think they would do this well. I didn't think natural gas was going to go into that large of a crisis that quickly. But I think fertilizer is going to do very well going forward, especially Intrepid Potash. This is a massive downtrend that is turning into an uptrend. So this is we're still kind of at a very low buy point here. So I think it's a good value there. Archer Daniels Midlands, another one that I own. I don't really talk too much about it. I bought it somewhere in this, like in here. I think I bought it right on this break right in here. So at like $34, I bought it. I've just been holding on to it. I don't sell, and this thing's been moving to the upside. It looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I can bounce around. Doesn't really matter. It's going to be in an uptrend, though. It's going to be in an uptrend, continuing to move on up. Scott's Miracle-Gro. I think someone asked me to take a look at this. Big long-term, this thing has had a monster run, guys. Back in the 90s, it was like $8 or $9, and it's just continued to move on up all the way to $260. It's had a pretty good pullback here recently. It looks like we're trying to find some support down here. We've had a monster move lower in a corrective type move. Is this kind of where we're going to end up? Tough to say. Tough to say. I would rather buy Intrepid Potash over Scott's Miracle-Gro just looking at the charts and the setup. Nutrien's another one. I can, just see a line break there. It broke out, back tested, and then it's just moving higher. So this thing has had a pretty good run. I do see some selling pressure in here, like in here. as this thing goes, but there's good buying pressure on this side right there. So we'll see where it goes. I think it's going to go higher. It's probably just a little consolidation type move pattern here that's playing out that will eventually break to the upside. CF Industries, that's another fertilizer type company. I'm getting pretty bullish on fertilizers. This chart looks really good. Big buying pressure, small selling pressure. This looks like it wants to go higher. You take a big picture view, and we broke out of this downtrend line from 2015. We just broke out of it. I think this has a long way to move higher with this breakout. And it looks absolutely excellent on, I would say, from October 2020 onward, looks absolutely excellent. So that's one that I would look into right now, CF Industry Holdings. Mosaic is one that I piled into at, I think it was around $24, $25. I piled into this one quite heavily for my fertilizer play. The two that I like are Intrepid Potash and Mosaic. Mosaic has a beautiful setup, and if I were to do a trend-based extension on it, because this one looks like it could be pretty easy to do, if I were to take it here, draw it here, come all the way back down. So a 1.618 is kind of one that could potentially be a good type move. But I mean, you could see a $270, $439 move to the upside over this entire bull market. And that's based off the first fractal from 03 to 2008. So based off of this entire move, if we get a similar move, for a little bit larger leg, I mean, it's possible to get between $250 and $400 and something on this move for a move higher. And I'm not necessarily projecting that, guys. I'm just kind of playing with numbers. I just know that this is going to go higher. I don't know the ultimate high, but I mean, I think at least 160 would be a good bet with potential upside all the way to maybe even into the 400s. But this is a company that I'm playing with. Another thing that I kind of look at, we'll probably see, maybe if we take a look at it from this perspective. Oops, I missed the click point there. What we're looking at is a huge megaphone type pattern here. The megaphone pattern and that fractal that I was talking about also coincides with the potential top if we were to hit the top of this pattern at about $500. So it's a possibility, and I'm not claiming that this is going to go up all that way, but it could do a 10-bagger from where we are at today. I know that sounds, I know it sounds a little bit ridiculous, but that's just kind of me playing with some of the some of the charts. And I charted this a long time ago, and I even forgot that I charted it like this. But that's a possibility where we could hit the top of this chart all the way up here at about $450, $500. And we could blow out and do a big kind of peak out at kind of like this, where it goes up to like 550 or something, or a little over 500. EEM is another one, emerging markets. I've got that kind of here with us. I think that looks absolutely excellent for a entry point right now. And I'm also investing in emerging markets. I do think the dollar will eventually weaken with a housing boom. And this is also, I would say, all of these charts are also confirming a housing expansionary phase, because every time these have gone up, we've had an expansionary phase of real estate. So you can look at it from either perspective. You could say an expansionary phase happens when these market conditions and companies outperform, which they're going to because of the charts. This one looks absolutely excellent. And I think that, it's all aligning. All the data is reinforcing the expansionary phase, and the expansionary phase is reinforcing this data. So it's all in alignment. And then another one that I was looking at that someone brought up was Altius, ALTIUS, Renewable Royalties Corporation. That is ticker symbol ATRWF. This is another one that I recently purchased in here recently. It seems like we pulled on down here, and just recently I was like, you know what, I'm going to add in, because we've got this we've got this downtrend line coming through here. If I can click. And then we came on up and we're kind of did like a return move. And right in here, I would be like, yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'm adding into Altius Renewable Royalties Corporation. They do have some royalties on potash. They've got some royalties on some metals and stuff like that. They've got a wide array. So go check out Altius Renewable Royalties Corporation on their page and look at their assets and their royalties. And they've got royalties from Nutrien, potash, and stuff like that. I kind of think that's kind of cool. I want some royalties and some exposure to potash for sure for the fertilizer type business. And I think Altius might be a good one to play. So I've been buying that one here recently over the past, I would say, ever since February. I've been cost averaging in kind of at that bottom, trying to pick this bottom off. So thank you for putting that in the comment section. Whoever put that in the comment section, I'm a big royalty guy. I saw it and I kind of put it on the watch list. I saw it kind of come down. I saw that big hammer pattern. I'm like, boom, grab some. I think I got it at about $7, something like that. And I've been cost averaging in the low $7 range. So hopefully that turns out. I'm going to hold it for the long term. I'm a big investor here in potash and fertilizers. To me, I like Intrepid Potash and Mosaic. Those seem to have the biggest bang for the buck. They may, CF Industries also looks pretty good. I'd probably add some in there. I don't own anything in it. I own a lot in Mosaic, and I've really beefed up the position in Intrepid Potash. The next one I'm going after is this Altius Renewable Royalties. Those are the ones that I own. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.